Hi everyone, welcome back to David at Go To Hobbies. Just to advise you, I've got some doggies on my lap. It's a regular thing. I sit and talk to you about my interests, and the dogs want to take up residence on my lap. Oh, excuse me. Just had a cup of coffee and some biscuits, and still the rest of my coffee to drink. So, oh dear, another hiccup. Oops. Anyway, sorry. So, as we were saying in the last video about ETs and how do they make their spacecraft? Now, I find this absolutely fascinating. And why I find it fascinating? Because we're talking about technologies and processes that could be hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of years in advance of what we are. So they have been, hopefully not what we're going through, and they've evolved peacefully. That would be a lovely idea, to have a race not orientated about money, not orientated about greed and wealth, and not orientated about I'm better than you and you're better than me. None of that. Everyone looks after each other, and their way is far superior than our way. And we have a lot to learn about ETs and their concepts, their thinking, what they do, how they do it. I know we are classed as a primitive race, and we've got a lot to learn, but we're on that threshold now of making huge leaps forward. I mean, absolutely massive. We are at the point in our history, we are, how do I put it, at a mind boggling event place. And when I say that, it's because we've invented artificial intelligence. It's far superior to our minds. It is capable of thinking thousands and thousands of times faster than the human mind. It's better than any computer we have. But it started, and it's very, very interesting. Do you fear this technology? Do you embrace it? Because it could lead to absolutely what some people call weird things. It's only weird because we don't understand it. It's only weird because we are used to the mundane things in life. Driving a car, drinking, walking, going to work, getting paid, going on holiday. All these things we do in life. Just think about it. We could be on a planet with no wars, a lovely flora, green planet with trees, plants, insects that don't bite and don't try to eat you, and creatures that don't do the same either, whether it be tigers, lions, sharks, crocodiles, those sort of things. They don't have that. They have creatures that are intelligent, and instead of ruled by hunger and feeding themselves on each other, they have creatures that are intelligent, and instead of ruled by hunger and feeding themselves on each other, they have creatures that are intelligent, and instead of ruled by hunger and feeding themselves on each other, they have creatures that are intelligent, and instead of ruled by hunger and feeding themselves on each other, they've evolved, excuse me, they've evolved so far and advanced to what we know as animals and ETs. They've evolved so far and advanced of the animals. So, ET craft. I started the subject about ET craft, but excuse me. What I find fascinating is talking about it, because the more you talk about it, the more open people are to it. Excuse me for a minute, I'm getting a bit hoarse and I need to have a drink before I go like a frog croaking. Excuse me. As you can see, which one am I today? I think I'm Mr. Happy, actually. I'm in a good mood. And why I'm in a good mood? Because I'm talking about a subject I love, and that's ETs, and their technology, their ways, thinking, and everything to do with it. Now, ET craft. It is absolutely fascinating. A bloke that was involved in back engineering, perhaps, David Adair. Now he tells some stuff, I'll tell you. If you ever, or you haven't heard of David Adair, I suggest you do some Google search. What he explains is absolutely wonderful. To think about ET craft and how and what they are. Me, I'm a type of person where I think good things. I don't think the negative things. Yes, there are, don't get me wrong, ET races that perhaps are not very nice. Well, I don't know. I'm taking it from my perspective, but we'll talk about ET craft and how they get them. So let's theorize about how do they actually get a craft. In a previous video, I talked about ET craft and what we class as plants, and their type of plants, they produce spacecraft. What is so you think, am I talking absolute rubbish? I might be, but who knows? We can't actually say what is or what is not. We can only speculate. So anyway, allow me to elaborate on what I'm talking about. So you got an ET civilization. They have technologies thousands and thousands of years ahead of us, hundreds of thousands of years ahead of us. So they've developed their life in ways that we can only imagine. So if we can imagine that their technologies, or they have the abilities, so if they start having a plant that will grow them a seed, and that seed is a spacecraft. It's just a concept, it's just an idea. Okay, putting that aside, how about they have technologies that convert matter from a mundane thing into a living thing that grows? So a matter converter converts one type of matter into another type of matter, and it can give it a life form. You can have something which is programmed to be a tool and it will do its job, or you can have something a bit more elaborate, like a device that monitors things When I say monitor, monitors space, monitors the planet, monitors their race, things like that. You got to remember their technology is like, for us now, what we got with computers and say the 10th century of our civilization and how primitive we was there. Yes, we could build things properly. We could, kill each other. But they won't have computers. They won't have cell phones. They won't have power stations. But imagine, right, in the year 10,000 or 10,000 BC before Christ, that we was that at our point now that we have that technology then. So now, coming from there to where we are now, how far advanced do you think we would have got? A long way. So this is what I'm saying to you, and that ETs have the technologies to develop things that is what they need. They don't. I think, yes, they would enjoy the entertainment, whether it be on the same concept of what we do. We seek knowledge, and their way of entertaining themselves would probably be slightly different to what we would do. I don't know. I really don't know. But let's go to the concept of, like, there's two options they have to produce a spacecraft. One is through a type of plant they use, what we class as a plant, a living organism, that produces a living cell or a living structure that they can get it to develop in a certain way. Excuse me. When I say develop, to grow rooms in it, to grow propulsion systems, to grow navigation, their technology, you got to remember, is boundless because they have the technology. They know how to do it. It's just a case of, instead of actually speaking it, they think it. If they don't think it, they will it. And how do I put it? It's like, instead of us talking, they know what they want and it becomes reality. For us, we are just like a baby learning to crawl with what we're finding out about what we can do. Is the best way to describe it. Now, I know I sort of come off and go back off the talking about ET craft and that, but imagine the concept where, are you thinking I'm talking about nothing? I don't know. I'm just putting my views across, what I think is fascinating, what I think is intriguing about how ET races have got to where they are and what they're capable of doing. So, as I'm saying about these ET crafts, so they can either convert one from matter and they can make it living, or another way, which was slower, a plant like form will grow it for them. But the difference between a matter made spacecraft, whereas a grown spacecraft, the grown spacecraft will inherently have its own characteristics. In other words, it will be living from creation, whereas a matter built spacecraft will have to be given its personality, or what we class as its livingness. You got to understand that their technology is far advanced of what we are, and I just find it absolutely wonderful to think what they can do and how they do things. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. This is the second part about ETs and excuse me, I have to move my arm. And the possibilities of their technologies, really. So if you enjoyed the video and you want to listen to more about me talking about ETs and stuff like that, hit the subscribe button and then click the little bell icon and then click all, and then you'll be notified about upcoming videos. And last but least, if you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up, always much appreciated. And thank you for watching me, and thank you for popping by, and we'll see you in the next video. So bye bye for now, see you soon, bye bye.